Hast scharchal persia is een kuskerig, is het gelaagd, is de medlis, is gezegeld. Yet qua kaks kamil shimlu skollu spkanis. Hello everyone, my fellow tribal people, my friends, relatives, and family. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the month of November, and this is a coyote storytelling time. From another elder, they talked about having the coyote stories being told at the time of the popping trees, and that's probably the coldest time of the year, and probably when there's deep freeze. The trees get so cold that they actually pop, make popping sounds. So today, right now, the month of November is called Squadlu Spkanis. Squadlu Spkanis. Squadlu is a coyote stories, but it kind of has gotten changed a little bit to storytelling. So that's the month of November. At least it starts now, because the stories will be continually told through the winter time until there's no more snow on the ground, or until there's major thawing. Then the storytelling times stop. And of course, the coyote stories are not told after this time until the next time of the snows, is because the elders, our ancestors say, if you tell coyote stories at any other time, a snake will get you. So we have to listen to what our ancestors tell us. They have a reason for saying that, so we need to listen to them. Squadlu spkanis. And let's practice the days of the week a little bit here. Stjatse. Stjatse. Stjwe. Stjwe. Etlasela or tichlasela. Chatla. Chatla. Elmo. Elmo or tichlmo. Tichlmo. Zilchsta. Zilchsta. Stle. Stle. Squadlu is a word for the coyote stories. And another word is squadlunt. That's using the longer form. Squadlunt. Some of the elders say that we have been leaving off the endings of our words quite a bit, and so we're trying not to forget them. We're trying to keep them in there in the language as much as possible. Esquadlunti. Esquadlunti. That's someone who's telling coyote stories. You might hear people say esquadlu. Esquadlu. That's just in regular conversation, people will automatically just leave the endings off their words. Next, I will show some of the animals and some of the stories we have. Some of the animals, I have a few of the animal pictures here. They're the main characters in some of the Coyote Stories. I just have a few because I don't want to have too many all at once. Of course, our main character is Scintilla. That's why we call them Coyote Stories, because that's a coyote. Scintilla. When I read some of the stories, I will say Scintilla in place of coyote. One of the other characters in one of the stories is Lumina. Lumina. That's a bighorn sheep. Lumina. Hua, who was Coyote's brother, who got him out of a lot of jams. He won't be in any of our stories today, but he's one of the main characters. And Hua is always a nice looking guy, and so I thought I'd show him today. Hua. Okay, the days are shorter now and the nights are longer, and the Salish people made sure that the youngsters started hearing Squadaloo and stories about the creation. And a lot of these stories taught the youngsters, and maybe some of the older people needed to be reminded of our morals and the ways to live or how not to live. And the animals are the ones who play the roles in these stories. And Scintilla is the one who passed through here and caused many different things to happen. At different locations, there's evidence of his passing through, which are landmarks. And some of the landmarks have been destroyed by people who don't understand the significance of these places, of these landmarks, to the Salish Language and to most other tribes. I'm sure this has happened too. Many Squadaloo have been forgotten as the lifestyles of the Salish Language have changed. Many people can remember being told Squadaloo, and they remember bits and pieces, but many don't remember the whole story. This is called Scintilla and Amotkin. Scintilla and Amotkin. A long time ago, my yaya told me something. She told me a story. She said that a long time ago, the man who sits on top, or Amotkin, made the earth. He made some big, tall people. He taught them all good things. Yaya said the people were good for a long time. Then they became bad and started to fight. They would fight and steal from each other. So Amotkin got rid of the bad people. Then Amotkin made all of us. He mixed us up with different colors. These colors were like the leaves of autumn. Some of us are Indians with our brown skin or slightly red. Some are white people. Some are black people. Yaya said we are all beautiful, different colors. But Amotkin wanted us to be good. He wanted us to have a helper. Someone to help us find food, someone to help us hunt, someone to keep us safe, someone to help us do good things. Yaya told me that the man who sits on top, or Amotkin, picked Scintilla. From all the animals, Scintilla would be the helper. Scintilla would help us find food. He would help us hunt. And he would help keep us safe. And he would help us to do good things. Yaya said Amotkin told Hua, Scintilla's brother, to help Scintilla. If Scintilla were hurt, Hua would help him. Hua would jump over Scintilla 3 times. Then Scintilla would be well again. Scintilla would say, "Oh, what a long sleep I've had. Oh, what a good rest." Amotkin made Scintilla to be our helper. When you see Scintilla on the mountain trail, wave to him. At night, when you hear Scintilla bark, he is talking to you. He says to sleep well. He says he will watch over you. This is what my Yaya told me by the fire when I was a little girl many winters ago. So that's one squadlooped about Scintilla and Amotkin. This next story is Scintilla and Omen. And let's see if you can tell where this story takes place. This is an important landmark to our people. It's snowing. The wind is blowing. It's cold outside, but the fire makes us warm. Our Yaya will tell us about Scintilla. Yaya will tell us about the old place where she lived a long, long time ago. There was a big mountain down by the old place, she said. Something terrible lived by this mountain. It was an old Lumina with big sharp horns and big ugly eyes. This old mountain sheep, or this old Lumina, was so mean. He wouldn't let anyone go by his mountain. He would stomp the ground with his terrible hoofs. He would puff and snort with his terrible nose. He would fight and hit with his terrible horns. One day, Scintilla was going by the mountain. He had walked a long way. The warm sun made him sleepy, and he wasn't watching carefully where he was going. Suddenly, Scintilla heard a terrible snorting. Big clouds of dust came from the terrible pine. The old Lumina shouted to Scintilla, "Now I'm going to fight you, and now I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you with my big sharp horns." Scintilla could not get by the old Lumina. Scintilla looked all around. There were the bones of many animals. Scintilla wanted to get rid of the Lumina. Then all the animals and people could go by safely. Lumina was very strong, but Scintilla was full of tricks. "Show me how strong you are," Scintilla said. "Can you knock down this huge pine tree?" Lumina wanted to scare Scintilla. He wanted to show Scintilla how strong he was. He pawed the ground with his terrible hoofs. He ran as fast as he could and hit the pine tree with his terrible horns. That big pine tree did not fall down. The big pine tree did not even bend over. The very sharp horns went right through the big pine tree. The old Lumina was stuck in the pine tree. He snorted and pulled, but he could not get loose. Scintilla took out his flint knife and killed that old Lumina. He cut away the head and left the sharp horns in the tree. From then on, all the animals and people could go by safely. Cinderella left the horns in the tree for people to see when they went by. He said that after that day, the big pine tree would be a medicine tree for the people. Yaya also said that when she was a little girl, the people would hang necklaces or beads or little things on the tree. Then they would pray for good things. Amotkin would always hear. Maybe when the snow is gone from the mountains, Yaya will take us with her to the old place. We will help her dig roots. We will hang a scarf on the medicine tree. We will pray for good things. Amotkin will always hear. Lamb lunch. That's the end of our story. I will see you all next time. I hope to have a guest next time to tell us a real skudlumt in Salish. Not a long one, but one nice short one. Lamb lunch. Oh, and I'd like to also say to everybody out there, have a good and safe Thanksgiving. Ches in Shilshata.